What's up, guys? This is D Brown with Track Headz. I'd like to welcome you to Track Headz TV. Today, we're going to be going over the World Championships predictions for 2025. Pulling it up now. Hold on one second, guys. All right, guys. So like I said, we're going to be going over the 2025 World Champion predictions. It's going to be in Tokyo, Japan. It's supposed to be one of the premier World Championships of the since like COVID, right? Last time they've been to Tokyo was in 2020, so this is going to probably it's probably going to be a lot bigger than any of the previous World Championships. I believe I'm actually going, so it should be a really good time. I can't wait to see the attractions and all the things they're going to be surrounded. That's going to be surrounding the city. I went to Budapest. Budapest was cool. The food was pretty decent, but I think Tokyo, for a lot of people, between the culture, between the food, between the anime, between just the culture that is Japan, it's going to be really, really dope. It's going to be a really good time. So I'm excited to see how Tokyo is going to be. But without further ado, we're 90 seconds in. Let's go ahead and start with the predictions for the 2025 World Championships. That's going to be in Tokyo, Japan. This is for track and field, guys, all right? So I figure we start off with a bang, right? Everyone's talking about this 100-meter dash with Noah Lyles, Kishane, usual suspects, Kenny Benaric, everybody. Everyone's talking about these guys. Everyone's talking about everybody. I'm going to give you guys my predictions for the 100-meter dash. We're going to start off with a bang, like I said. Why not? Why not? All right, so give me a nice little drum roll. For the 100-meter dash, I have Oblique winning the 100-meter dash for the World Championship. I think he's going to be world champion, right? I have him getting first. I have Noah Lyles getting second. I have Kishane getting third, right? Now, before y'all attack me in the comments and go all crazy and stuff like that, I want to remind you of one thing. Last year in the Olympics, when everyone was saying Kishane, 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 I was one of the few people in the minority, super minority, that said that Kishane's race model isn't optimal for championship races. He sets it up really well to 60. He uses the momentum he builds up in his first 30 to maintain. And then after that, I mean, he's very vulnerable in the last maybe like 10 meters of his run. For as big as he is, that's a really, really big flaw. Really, really big flaw. So that's something that he has to fix. I told you guys that the one way that he can fix it is by running more 200s, having better speed endurance, and I haven't seen him run no 200s, and I haven't seen any improvement in speed endurance. 9.7 is a fantastic time. I could be wrong, but I believe that Oblique is going to take this one. I believe Oblique is going to take it. I mean, he's been setting up his races really well. He looks injury-free. He looks confident. And I think, him running his 9.87 in the rain was really, really great. He sets up his races really well. But most importantly, a lot of people, I'm not sure if people have been noticing that in his last 30 meters, and I saw this figure online on Twitter, actually, or on X, and he's running his last 30 meters just as fast as Noah Lyles is, which is really, really impressive to see. He's not falling off. He's not running to 60 and losing momentum. He's able to finish just as well, too. I also want to bring you back to this statistic. Zarnell Hughes, right before he got he got bronze in the 100-meter dash in Budapest. He ran a 100 in the New York Grand Prix in New York City. And when he ran it, he had his last 30 meters. So his last 30 meters all were like 9.83s or 0.83s or something like that. He was able to hold that speed endurance for the last 30 meters really well. Zarnell Hughes and Oblique are teammates. Oblique has been giving Zarnell the business all this year. So I say all that to say, because they're the same teammates, because they're coached by the same coach, speed endurance is not that it's pretty much the same. So like I said, I think Oblique has it on lock. It just depends if he can make it through the 3 rounds healthy, right? Noah is going to be Noah. He's going to set it up right. I seen that he lost a little bit of weight. Hopefully that can cause him to be more aggressive in the first 60. And, he's going to do what he does in the top-end speed category. I think Kishane is going to be up there with Oblique, but he's not going to have the speed endurance. I think it's going to be a really, really, really tight race. It's going to be on a dip. I think he's gonna outdip Kishane, but he's not gonna get Oblique because Oblique is gonna really take it out very, very aggressive. So yeah, it's gonna be that's why I have this my top three. Who's Michael? Michael, what's up, man? What's up? Good morning. What's going on? As far as anybody that I'm looking for Kenny Bednarek to be in the mix. I mean, he did run 9.7. He did run 9.7, so I can't necessarily count him out. If there's someone that's gonna sneak in there, it's definitely gonna be Kenny Bednarek. Courtney Lindsay is also in there too. Yes, I finally remembered I had a YouTube channel. My fault, guys. I've been out and about. I'm a coach. I train. I've been working like crazy. So yeah, that's my mistake, guys. I'm gonna show y'all some love. I'm gonna actually be recording a lot of videos in Tokyo when I'm out there. So I'm gonna make sure I definitely give you guys some visuals and some views. I've been kind of like trying to catch up and trying to just catch up on work and stuff like that. So yeah, but yeah, I think between Kenny Bednarek and Courtney Lindsay, those are the two athletes that I'm looking at to really like sneak in there and really make sure that they apply pressure. If Kishane makes a mistake, and mind you, you also have to look at false starts. You have to look at injuries. Oblique kind of gets me nervous because he has a injury issue. Kishane gets me nervous because he has an injury issue. So, I mean, you're talking about it's really USA versus Jamaica, which has always been. So, it's going to be really, really interesting to see how that goes. Sasuke and Goku. Yeah, man. What's your prediction? What's your prediction for this 100? Who do you have? There's Oblique, there's Noah, there's Kishane, Courtney Lindsay, there's Kenny Bednarek, there's Arnell Hughes, De La Sile Tobogo. You said Noah, Kishane, and Kenny. Let me see. I'm not mad at that. But you also, I mean, it's tough because you have Oblique, man. Oblique start is going to rattle some people. I'm not sure. I mean, I think Kenny's a great finisher. I think Noah's a great finisher. I think Kishane sets it up decently in the first like 70 meters, but it's just tough. You said dark horse, Kenny to take second place instead of third. Okay, explain it to me. Why do you think that that Kenny's gonna take second place instead of third? I don't know, man. I mean, like I said, he won the USA Championships. His race model is pretty good. He could be it's tough. Well, why you say no Oblique? You think he's gonna make it through the rounds? Yeah, man. Oblique is a wild card, but like I said, I can't deny not just his start. I can't deny his last 30 meters. When you're running 30 meters up there with Noah Lyles, who just came off a 19.6, that's impressive. You cannot discount the impressive his ability to maintain that speed, and he doesn't run the 200. He ran some straight 200s and maybe a 150 last year to help out his speed endurance. He's a pretty small guy too, and it looks like he's been weight training a lot more. I watched his coach. His coach had an interview basically saying he's weight training a lot more, and they basically had to like be patient, let his body get accustomed to the new weight training and stuff like that. So let me see what you say. You said picking Oblique is like re-voting for a politician who already delivered for. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, I agree. He's been in this pivotal position for quite some time, right? He's been in the position where it's just like, Oblique is going to do it. Oblique is going to, like, kill it. And then he doesn't deliver. He doesn't even get a medal. Shit, he actually gets last place like he did last year. So, I don't know. It's a guess. Like I said, I have no problem being wrong. Last year, I said that Noah Lyles was going to end up winning. And everyone called me crazy. Everyone's like, nah. And there's certain things that Noah Lyles does that allow me to believe that he's going to be able to get the time. I think Noah Lyles is going to sacrifice. I'm not saying sacrifice, but I think he was focusing on speed work a whole lot more, which is what made his 200 meters suffer. I think this year, he put a lot more base work in, a lot more 400 meter work in. And I think that there's so much talent there's so much talent in the 100 meter dash. I don't think a 9.89 is gonna make it. I don't think a 9.85 is gonna make it. When you have someone running 9.7 like Kishane, Oblique is running 9.87s and 9.8s on behind Kishane while maybe being injured at the Jamaican trials, but his last 30 meters show that he has just as much speed endurance as Noah. it's a hard sell for Noah to get up there. But like I said, I think Noah is going to save his best trick for last. I think he's going to show people that that 200 last year was a fluke. That Lasila Tobogo won. I think that's he has no problem sacrificing the 100. But I think he's eventually going to get it back. But yeah, let's head over there. It's already been about 10 minutes. Let me see if I can make it through this 100. So for the 100 women's, I have Melissa getting that, winning that 100. You can't deny race rhythm. I think when you talk about the 100 meter dash, it's all about consistency. She's run 10.6 maybe 2-3 times already, 10.7s. The only person who has had just as good of a resume as her is Julian Alfred. Her and Julian Alfred have been super duper consistent, but I think Melissa starts to edge her out when you go from it's the transition where Melissa starts to really create separation. She does something. She has a really great start, but once she really goes from 30 to 40 to 50, she really just takes off. And because of her speed endurance of running 21.8s and stuff like that, which is something that she didn't necessarily have while she was in college. Mind you, she still went 10.6, 10.7 in college, but she didn't have that 21.8 under her. That's really, really impressive. I mean, this is the same girl in Melissa who broke off Gabby Thomas, right? Respectfully. But when the stakes were high, money was on the line, and during the Grand Slam, I mean, she broke her off twice at USA's and Grand Slam. So this is someone who has speed endurance, right? Gabby Thomas has beaten Julian Alfred. Maybe not this year. I'm not sure what the record is, but my point is that even though Julian Alfred has the superior time in terms of a 21.7 this year, I'm not discounting Melissa. Melissa has that 100 is pretty impressive. It's really, really impressive. So like I said, I think I have Melissa in first. I have Julian Alfred getting second. That third place is pretty tough. Everyone's talking about Sha'Carri. But to go from 11.0 to a 10.9, 10.8, it's a hard sell. We're talking about race rhythm. Although I haven't seen her really push out in the first 30, I think that's a reason. I think maybe she was doing block starts early in the season, and maybe that's what caused her hamstring or whatever her injury was to kind of get hurt and injured. So like I said, it's just really hard to really, it's really hard to, I'll say this. I think even though we haven't seen her run too much, I'm gonna go with Melissa's teammate, the athlete who got second place at USA's. I forgot her damn name. My apologies. I think she's a 200 meter specialist. She's actually in their group. I think between her and TT Terry, it might just be, to be honest, it might just be the Green Machine show. It might just be their coaches show where all the athletes that are in their camp are the ones that are really participating and really like putting in work, because, I mean, he qualified 4 athletes. That's crazy. So, I mean, it could be that, what's that girl's name? It could be that Talu, she messes around and gets a medal and sneaks in there and gets herself a medal. But Melissa has been dominating. If it's not Melissa, it's Julian Alfred. Dina Asher-Smith has been decent. She's run like a 10.9. There hasn't been anyone that has made this like a quality like 3. It's really just been a two race show. When you run a 10.6 and 10.7, that's amazing. Sharika Jackson is still making her way up. Shelly Ann Fraser-Price, it would be great to see her get her last medal. But to be realistic, you can't do. Melissa just went 10.7 or 10.6 on that field that had Shelly Ann Fraser-Price. You know what? I'll give you this. Here's going to be my final pick. All right? I think it's going to be Melissa. It's going to be Julian, and then it's going to be Tina. I think it's going to be Tina from Jamaica, because she came off of a 10.8 right? And she's been running 10.9s and 10.8s pretty consistently throughout the season. She didn't just start doing it. She's been doing it pretty consistent throughout the season. Been going against pretty quality competition. Let me see what you said. You said, I can't pick for the women. I just can't. My heart can't bear it. I like them. Exactly. I want Julian Alfred to win as a Caribbean, as you can see, right? But I mean, when you're dealing with, again, Melissa just creates so much separation in that transition, and she has the speed endurance to hold it off. Just like how Julian had way better transition than Sha'Carri last year at the Olympic Games, and she had better speed endurance to hold Sha'Carri off. Sha'Carri is one of the best. Sha'Carri, however you pronounce her name, my apologies. Her ability to hold her turnover and have good positions is very similar to Noah in terms of that's her talent, that's her skill. And her flying 30s or whatever the case is like beautiful. But for some reason her start, she has to have a Noah moment of fixing that first 30 so that she can run and does what she normally does in her races. Maybe the injury, whatever injury she had was so catastrophic that it just threw her off. But yeah, like I said, I think I'll stick with that. I think it's gonna be Melissa. I think it's gonna be Julian Alfred, and it's gonna be Tina, from Jamaica. And like I said, I mean, I think Tina has been more consistent than Sharika. Tina has been more consistent than Shelly and Fraser Price. And unless they're just peaking them for the right, and it's just all about how she can stay consistent when she is dealing with the stress of the rounds at this level. Again, it's not the Olympics, but it's still the World Championship. You're going to get some of the best girls. Like Melissa cracked the top 10. You know, Julian Alfred, Olympic champion. Sharika, like these are all these people that are just at the top of their game, or were at the top of their game in the past 2 or 3 years. So you can't front on that. All right, so I'm gonna move to the 200 meter dash. Again, guys, we're getting to it. So again, I have Noah getting first, right? I said early in the year when I saw him run his 400, I said he's gonna have a hell of a year. I showed in 2022 when he went 19.3, he only had a PR of about, a season's best of about like a 9.93. So I believe these are one of the years where, because he did not execute how he was supposed to last year for the Olympic Games, he wants his payback. And I think in his mind and his hearts that he needs to make sure that he keeps it and maintains his stranglehold on the 200 meter dash. He has he won 2023, he's won 2022, he's won 2019. He's been going back to back. This is going to be his fourth, and I probably missed one, but it's going to be his fourth attempt at a gold, and he's been one gold. He doesn't want to break that cycle. And I think he's going to give us a hell of a performance. I'll tell you this. We're going to be on probably either American Record Watch or World Record Watch if he can run in 9.8. If he can run any like 9.83, 9.82, if he's in any close to PR shape, or even like a 9.81, we're going to be on World Record Watch for that 400. Because a common thread that we've been seeing is that he's been able to stay close enough just to beat whoever he needs to beat. So Kenny Benerick beating him in the last 2-3 meters. Lasile Tobogo. And I heard a lot of people saying, no, Lasile is not trying. I'm not sure. You don't run 9.7, 9.8, 19.8, 19.7 not trying, right? So people have to understand, like, Noah's doing something really, really incredible in these 200s where he's almost doing like a flying 120 to catch a lot of these guys. And these are some of the best guys. Lasile Tobogo is the Olympic champion. Kenny Benerick has run 19.7 this year, right? Has a ultimate PR of 19.4. I think Noah's has purposely just made sure to time his season right to have a really good 200. He's more on the strength side. He opened up in a 400 meter dash, and he's really just been progressing his season really, really well. And as big as he has looked, and I'm not sure if y'all noticed, I know I haven't been on here to really break it down the way I want to break it down, but if y'all have noticed, he's been really more robust in his shoulders to have better acceleration patterns in his 100. But now I think he's starting to lose his weight. He's maybe going from like a 170 to like a 163 or 165, losing good amount of weight to keep that power so that he can really, really fly. Next person I have is Lasile Tobogo. Right, Lasile Tobogo has not shown, at least to me, unless he's doing something in practice, he has not shown that he's in that same 400 meter shape that he was in last year when he was Olympic champion. Granted, this is his first year he's dealing with his mom, official full year he's been dealing with his mom's passing. So maybe his setup is a little bit different. He hasn't had a 300 meter world record attempt. He hasn't had a 400 meter 44.2 crazy performance. He actually had a really slow start. I think he opened up at like 45 and some change because it was raining or dealing with the floods in Botswana. There's been a lot of, on paper, looking at his result sheet, a lot of inconsistencies and nothing that shows that he's in like this tremendous shape that everyone think that he's in. does that mean he's not gonna win or not gonna? Excuse me. Does that mean he's gonna not apply pressure and not do really well? No, but he's not a shoo-in. Like last year, the writing was on the wall. It's like we knew Noah's the 200-meter guy, but you can't front. This guy broke the world record in 300-meter dash. He's run 44.2, I believe, 44.3. He's been doing these amazing splits on the 4x4. He's been rising to the occasion. So we can't discount Lasile, but I think Noah is gonna shut him up. And not shut him up like in a negative way, but he's gonna show him like, yo, this is my event. Like, take it from me. And then next we're gonna have Kenny Bednarek. I think Kenny is a really, really fast guy, right? He's a really, really strong guy. But I think some of the qualities, again, when we're talking about that 100, 200-meter balance, it's very delicate, right? You could either be on the strength side of the 200 or you could be on the fast side of the 200. Think about Michael Johnson. He was on the strength side of the 200. Think about Usain Bolt. He was on, or Johan Blake. They were on the fast side of the 200. And I think that Kenny Bednarek, when he first started running the 200, when he was running his 19.4s and 19.6s and earlier before he started training with Dennis Mitchell, he was on the strength side. He was more of a 2-4 guy. Now he's more of a 1-2 guy, right? So I think that makes him a little bit more vulnerable in the later stages of his 200. In like the last 20, 30 meters, he finds himself tightening up. I don't think that was really an issue with him earlier in his career, but now that he's a lot faster, having to navigate having 9.7, 9.8 speed sometimes is a lot harder to deal with the percentages required to maintain that speed all the way around. Like the strength that you need is very delicate, because if you go too much on one side and start being on the strength side of the 200, you lose that 9.7, right? But if you're on the speed side of the 200, it helps out that 100. So it's a delicate balance. Noah had to deal with it. I think Kenny is too. I think it's going to be really, really tight towards the end because Noah and Lasile are finishers, while Kenny Bednarek, he has the finish, but I don't think he's going to be as superior as Noah and Tabo is in the later stage of the 200. A couple people we can't count out, though, are going to be Zarnell Hughes. Zarnell Hughes, I mean, he's only run like 19.9. He did really well at the European Championships. He actually won both of them, which is a really good look. That actually is a really good indication for what he can possibly do in Japan. Granted, in the European Championships, it's cold. It's always cold as hell. It's in London somewhere in Europe, and it's cold. So for him to go 19.9, it gives me a really good indication of what he could probably do when it's time for him to run in Tokyo, Japan. People cannot sleep on that, right? Let me see. I think because the boho is young, not every athlete can handle the pressure of having a talker in their back. I think it's the same with Kishane. Same thing that happened with Arion. Noah said he knows that Arion was not a happy kid that showed up at the track tournament, and that's why he kept applying pressure. Yeah, I mean, a lot of this stuff is psychological. You know what I'm saying? A lot of this stuff is psychological. I think people just look at the times. They don't look at the kind of athlete that they're dealing with. They don't look at the fact that they're young. They don't look at the fact that, and mind you, Noah Lyles plays a lot of games in the call room, from what I heard. So if you're a track and field athlete, right? If you have a history in track or football or basketball, you could tell when someone's intimidated. Same thing with Gout, right? Gout's supposed to be running the 200. Gout is one of those athletes where he's so happy-go-lucky. It seems like eventually someone's gonna have to teach him how to have the eye of the tiger, because it's cool when you're a kid, but as you get older, you have to realize, like, yo, this is competition. Like, these people can be my friend, but they're also trying to take my head off. And I think that it happens with time. But Tabo has shown that he's that guy, and I think just, he caught Noah slipping at the Olympic Games, which is unfortunate, but that's the name of the game. But like I said, I think Zarnell Hughes is going to get it. Is going to be a dark horse. Also, Alexander Ogando. He's someone that has a 400-meter background, runs for the Dominican Republic. And he's someone that can handle the rounds. That's another aspect of the 200 that people don't talk about. You have to be able to handle the rounds. Noah Lyles has a 400-meter. He ran the 400-meter dash. He PR'd 45 and some change. Lasila Tobogo, 44 guy. Kenny Bednarek, he's run 44s in the past. Zarnell Hughes, he's more of a speed endurance based 100, 200-meter runner. He's like 6'4", 6'3", or something like that. And he's always shown to be someone who can handle his speed endurance. Not at the level of Noah and Lasile, but if Kenny Bednarek ends up tightening up like he has shown to do in the past in the 200, that can open the door for someone like a Zarnell Hughes or an Alexander Ogando. I don't believe they both have the speed needed to be up in the field of the 200 like the first three, because again, Noah's a 9'8" guy. Lasile Taboho, a 9'8" guy. Kenny Benerick, a 9'7" guy. Zarno Hughes, season's best of like 9'9", but he's run 9'8" in the past. Alexander Argando, he's more of a 2'4" guy. So, it's kind of interesting. Let me see. Do you think if you were in Taboho's place, you would still be motivated because he beat expectations? That's a good question. When you're at the Olympic Games and your country's depending on you and you're an essential part of the 400 and your mom just died, I mean, it's almost like the Mackenzie Long effect as well. It's like you have this high expectation to do something like shit. That's what happened to NCAA for her. It's like you have this high expectation to do something that is outer body worthy and you're dealing with loss. And you feel like you need to redeem yourself because of the loss that you took while you're in peak condition, right? And no one is having, I don't know if maybe people aren't having, I mean, he hasn't done any interviews or anything, but Lasile, he's young. He's 21 years old, lost his mom. And maybe there's a delayed grief, right? There's a delayed grief. I mean, he won the 200. He got the silver medal for his 4x4 team. And basically was heralded as the young, I mean, he achieved something that has been unprecedented. I think he's one of the, is he the highest placing finisher for an African country in the 200-meter dash? I think, but outside of Frankie Fredericks, where he got silver in 1996, I think he is, if I'm thinking back right. So, I mean, you're talking about someone who is, he's a one of one. He's probably one of the youngest medalists for a sprinting event that we've seen. So yeah, I mean, I think he's still going to be appreciated in this country. I think he hasn't had any issues or stuff like that. Yeah, he's the first gold medalist. Yeah. So, and I think he's still young. He's still 21, 22, which is a very good sign. He seems very humble and he knows how to have fun and stuff like that. Good balance. I think he's motivated. I think he's dealt with a little bit of injuries compared to last year too. So we're gonna have to see how he does, but he's someone that he has to be able to deal with the antics. I feel like he's dealing with the antics of Noah Lyles. I think Noah Lyles is gonna continue to apply pressure and mess with him mentally. But Sile isn't someone to make mistakes. He isn't someone to make mistakes. But I haven't necessarily seen a big like performance indicator of Lasile Tabogo that I usually see. I haven't seen the 300-meter world record. I haven't seen the 400-meter PR. I haven't seen the 100. Like, he hasn't even broken 10 seconds for the 100-meter dash, which is another thing. He's run 19.7 without breaking 10 seconds for the 100-meter dash. So he's another one. When you see him run the 100 and he runs a 9.9 or a 9.8, what do you think is going to happen to that 200? Okay. I think that, again, for Noah to do what I'm predicting he's going to do, I predicted this back in March. If I think he's going to break the world record or run an American record, he's not just going to run it a 19.2, 19.3 by himself. I think he's going to need pressure. He's going to need Lasile Tabogo. And if both of them are running 9.9, 9.8 with that 400-meter background, it's going to be disgusting. Remember, Michael Johnson ran 19.3 with a 10.01 100-meter PR. Right, but he was a 43 guy. And if Lasile is a 44 guy, Noah is a 45 guy, but they're able to run the 9.8s and 9.7s, that 200 is going to be crazy. Especially if they can both run a turn, they could both do pretty well in that. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen. But yeah, I have Zarno Hughes and Alexander Argando as the dark horses. If anyone slips up, they're going to go ahead and eat that last 50 meters of in the 200. So for women's, that took a little bit long, but for the women's, the 200-meter dash, I have Julian Alfred getting the win. So it's kind of tough, right? Because I think this is very dependent on psychology. If Melissa Jefferson beats Julian Alfred, I think is gonna win the 200. I think if Julian Alfred wins the 100, I think Melissa Jefferson is gonna be a lot more motivated to win the 200. So it's very, very interesting. I don't think we're dealing with someone who has the potential to double. I don't think the same athlete is going to double. I think Julia Alfred is a little bit more, what's the word? I don't think she has as good of a chance in the 200, even though she has a better PR, because we're dealing with rounds, right? Even though she has 400-meter background this year and has run more 400s, I think that she's the most vulnerable is the word I'm looking for. She's the most vulnerable in the last 20, 30 meters of the 200. When she's on, she's on. She hasn't shown that she's faltered as of yet. She kind of reminds me of a Sharika Jackson, where she's so physically strong. She's like the Serena Williams, just a physical specimen of you know, of her, like her body type. She's so freaking strong. And I think she has to have the strength behind it, just like Sharika did in 2023 when she was running all those 21.4s and 21.5s and 21.4s and 21.5s and 21.6s, 21.7s. So I think it's going to be a two-pony show. I think third place is going to be very interesting, because one thing I realized is that we have Sharika Jackson, we have Brittany Brown, Anavia Battle, we have Dina Asher-Smith, we have Amy Hunt. All of them are in this nice little parentheses, this nice little margin where they're all running anywhere from 22.1 to 22.2, right? All of them have different running profiles. Brittany Brown, she isn't as fast, but coming off the curve, she's not someone that you want to be close to, right? Anavia Battle, she's been running in the Diamond League, has been very consistent in her runs. She's been running 22.2, 22.3, 22.2, 22.3. I mean, she also qualified in the 200-meter dash in like an inside lane, like lane 2 or something like that, which is crazy. Dina Asher-Smith was training with Julian Alfred. I don't know what issues they had, or maybe it was just a thing like, oh, I just want to train back in London. Who knows? But I think that Dina Asher-Smith has been putting quality races together. I think her race model isn't the best, though. She tends to take it out too hard in the first 150 and then just maintains instead of maybe setting up to slingshot off the curve. It's just her race model is a little bit iffy to me. All right, Amy Hunt is someone who's very dangerous because, like Brittany Brown, she has the ability to finish, right? She's someone that's going to be kind of headhunting in that position in like those last 50 meters. It's unfortunate that Gabby Thomas isn't here. I think she would have been really dope to see, you know, run this 200. I think the Grand Slam was a great indicator of the kind of shape that she would like that she could have been in. I think honestly she's more of a 2.4 athlete that happens to run the 100 and needs to have the speed to run the 100. But she also, you know, it's just I think it's just unfortunate that she wasn't able to actually, you know, qualify for the 200-meter dash. So really unfortunate. But I have Julian Alfred-Smith to win it, then Melissa Jefferson, and then lastly I have Sharika Jackson. But I put an asterisk on Sharika Jackson because we don't know if she's healthy, not healthy. But I do believe that Brittany Brown and Navia Battle, Dina Asher-Smith, and Amy Hunt all have the capabilities to either get third or be a dark horse to sneak third. I think as long as everyone stays healthy in the 100-meter dash and there's no weird body reactions to running, you know, a possible 10.5 or 10.6, we don't know how they're going to do. It should be a really, really lit up 200. I think the 200 is going to be a really, like, is going to be really great. It's going to be almost as potent of a race as the men's 200 when you're talking about Noah Lyles versus Lasila Toboho. You're going to have Julian Alfred and Melissa Jefferson. It's going to be more of a rivalry. If Kishane ran the 200, if Oblique ran the 200, it will be the same. But, you know, it's going to be a good battle. All right, so let's move over to the 400-meter dash, right? We have so many talented athletes doing it, but I think it's going to be a 3-woman show. I think everyone mostly thinks it's a 3-woman show unless someone's just popping up injured or, you know, we just have some weird issues. I am looking for Miss Paulino, Marlady Paulino. I think she is going to take it. I think we're going to have Salwa E. Nasser for second. And then I think we're going to have Sydney McLaughlin for third. Now, mind you, this battle between Salwa E. Nasser and Marlady Paulino has been like a rivalry all year. One thing I really respect about those two women is that they don't not back down. I saw Salwa E. Nasser do something very interesting the other day where she ran like a 51 or 52 in the 51 in the 400-meter dash right before the Diamond League final. And everyone was like, oh, I don't know what happened. She got 5th place, 51 and some change. Like, what the heck is going on, right? And then she came back and ran like a 48 or low 49 or 48 high and ran away from Paulino in the Diamond League final. Broke her. But Paulino could not chase her down. I think that was a really, really great thing for her to do. I think those ladies are so well matched against each other that it's going to be very hard it depends on the day. They've been beating each other back and forth. But one thing about Paulino, her last like 50 meters is crazy. She's one of the few athletes I've seen that have been able to like finish, right? Salwa E. Nasser ran away from her at the Diamond League final, but Paulino has been able to finish. has been able to finish. And she's also been running more 200s than Salwa E. Nasser. So I think she has better foot speed than Salwa E. Nasser does at this point, right? She ran a low-key Diamond League 200 and didn't do too bad. I think it was the same race in which Salwa E. Nasser got 5th place and ran 51 and some change in the Diamond League. Paulino ran the 200 and went like 22.5 or 22.7 or something like that. So she's been working on her 200-meter speed, which enables her to finish better in the 400-meter dash with her strength that she already has. So I have Paulino, Salwa E. Nasser, and then I have Sydney. It's very hard to bet to figure out Sydney's place because she's only given us, she gives us so little, right? We don't know her race rhythm. I don't even know what kind of workouts that she has. She must be training with, she must have a crazy training group. There's no way she's training by herself because, or she's having time trials. I don't know. She must be running with the local college talent over there at UCLA or wherever she trains at because she can't just be training this whole time. We haven't seen her run since like June. It's September. We know that she needs to get faster. We know that she has the fitness. It's been more about speed with her. I think I said in the past that either she's going to win this or she's going to get third. I think that she has the ability to come through at 23 and some change. I think she has the ability to get there at 35 at the 300. But it just depends on if she has it in her legs to go with them past 300 to be able to finish. She knows that she's strong enough to finish, but does she have the race reps to have the legs under her to be able to find the race rhythm to finish, right? Unlike the hurdles, the 400 isn't as technical. You don't have to do it pretty. You just have to do it. So it's going to be very interesting to see. I think if they can get her, you know, again, get Sydney to 22.0 shape, which that's the kind of 200-meter runner she is. She's proven that she can run 22.0, which is light years ahead of Paulino and light years ahead of Salwa E. Nasser. But you can't underestimate race rhythm. If you haven't been running 49, these girls have been clicking off 49s, 48s, 48s, 49s, 48s since Grand Slam. You cannot underestimate that kind of shape. So, you know, like I said, I have, you said, what race pattern would you train Sydney to use if you were her coach? What race pattern? I think it's tough because I think it depends. I think for this particular race, you have to be able to go 48 super low. We already know Paulino has been there. She damn near almost ran 47 last year in the Olympic Games. Salwa E. Nasser, she's been working her way back off of suspension, but she has shown that she's prepared to go 48.5. Both of those women, Paulino and Nasser, have shown like they're willing to die, like they're willing to put it all out there. So Sydney's gonna have to go do crazy. You know, a 40. You know, I would say it like this: she really has nothing to lose. It's not her primary event. She knows she could probably win with a 4. She could probably still medal with a 49 too. If she's trying to go deep down into the 48s, she's going to have to hit the split. She's going to have to go like 23 low. But if she's coming from the strength side, then no slower than 23.5. And she's going to have to attack the last 100. And she can't wait on those girls. She can't wait to see, oh, you know, at the 300, we all hit. No, you may have to go 35 super low. She may have to hit some of these reps where it's just like, I need to get down there. I need to get down to 35 low. And then see what happens after that. Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, Sydney's a beast, and she's been shown to transcend the hurdle, the 400-meter hurdle event after Dalila did it, and she's one hell of a talent. But we cannot. It's still track and field. We still work unless she's on drugs or something. We can't underestimate the fact that race rhythm exists. You can't run like she ran a 50 and then she went a 49, and she's not gonna magically jump to 47, right? Like you can't. You can't do that. You said, what workouts would you give her to hit 48 too? I mean, that's a good question. I mean, she comes from the strength side, it seems like. So, and she's able to sprint, and she's like a long sprinter. That's how I was when I was running. So, I mean, I think as she comes at the strong side, you would have to prepare her with some sort of like broken 400s, right? Coming like maybe a broken 400s where she's running the first 200 or running the first 250, setting it up, and then finishing in the last 150. It seems like she probably already did the background work of running 500s and stuff like that. But with her, it seems like her biggest adjustment from running like pre-Fontaine and then going to, and where she ran 50 and some change or whatever she ran, and then going to USA's and running a low 49 was the biggest difference it seemed like is that she got faster. I think when she's a 400-meter hurdler, she doesn't really have to be as fast because it's more of a race rhythm, right? It's more about what you can do in that last 150. So I think it really just depends. I think when you're talking about I think her for Sydney, she has to set up her first 200. Fun fact, I was at the Oregon World Championship in 2022 when she broke the world record. I was also in Budapest as well. And the biggest difference in Oregon, I don't think she ran in Budapest, so pardon me. In Oregon, when she broke the world record, there's two things that she did. In the prelim, she went 52, I believe, and then she got it down to 50. And the biggest difference was that in the 200-meter dash, she was about a second and a half faster, right? So she set it up on the front end, but still was able to finish with the same momentum to still run that back half just as fast as she did when she ran 52. So, for example, when she went 52, she went like 24 mid, and then she finished up in like 27 low to run 52, right? 24 plus 27 is 51, but you add the milliseconds, that's 52. I'm talking about Sydney McLaughlin, why she's going to be getting third place and what she has to do to maybe get herself into first. We're just talking about like her adjustments that she did in the 400-meter hurdles and bringing it over to the 400-meter dash. So I'm talking about when I was in Oregon, I went to the World Championships. I saw her prelims. And in her prelims, she ran the first 200 of the 400-meter hurdles in 24 and some change. And then she ran the last 200 in like 27 and some change to run 52 in the prelims, right? 52 and some change in the prelims. In the finals, when she went 50 whatever, 50.5, and everyone was like, oh shit. Like I was like, oh crap, like this girl is running. She ran 23 like high, like 23.8, and then finished in like a 26 high to run 50. So for her, she has already shown that she understands that, and it's just common sense. You have to run a faster 200 if you have the strength, which she does. You have to run a faster 200 to hit your marks. If she's coming through in an open 400 in a 23, all these girls run 23 like 5 or faster through the 200. Unless it's a strategic race. They all run 23.5 at least. So for her, she has to be able to at least run 23.3 to 23.5. And then make sure on the curve that she doesn't lose contact. And then she has to be able to drop her speed, her strength. That's the only way she's going to be able to do it. That's the only way. So it's like, are you the most comfortable at 35 seconds through the 200? That's what she has to be training for. And that requires aerobic training, that requires speed, endurance, that requires lactic. It's a building, it's a foundation you have to build throughout the whole season. So again, I think that Paulino is going to take it because you can't miscount race rhythm. Salawi Nasser is also a monster. And I think that Sydney's either going to get third or she's going to shock everybody and get first, running something stupid like a 47.99, and it's going to be like, where the hell did that come from? It's going to be more questions than answers, and I'm going to be shocked if that happens. But I have her getting third, or maybe she'll split the two, but those are the three big giants that I have. I mean, you could have someone like Natalia. She changed her last name. I don't know what her name was before, but Natalia, she ran 48 and some change last year. Henrietta Jaeger, she's been someone that's been super consistent in the 400-meter dash, been running 49s all year. And when you're consistent like that, you're ready to drop down to the 48s. She also has a 22.7 or 22.8 season's best or PR this year that she ran. Isabel Whitaker is the same one, very like spunky, very like I'm ready to go take it from someone kind of athlete. She's beat Henrietta before. So I think, like I said, if there's someone that can apply pressure to this race to keep it honest, it's going to be them two. They're also really good. All three of them are really good finishers. Natalia, Henrietta, and Isabella, really great finishers in their runs. So, like I said, if someone's slacking, if someone gets broken off at the 300, if Sydney or Nasser or Paulino get broken off at the 300 and they start jogging it in, I guarantee it's going to be one of those athletes that come to snatch their soul. So we're going to continue going, though. Next person is going to be the 400-meter dash for men. I'm really excited to see this race. My picks are going to be kind of going to be that's what you think, and it's going to be very, I don't think a lot of people are going to mess with me with these picks, but I've shown that I know what the hell I'm talking about, right? The first person I have is Ja'Cory Patterson, right? Shocker, right? Ja'Cory Patterson has been someone that has been very, very, very consistent, right? Has been very consistent, has been showing that he's in pretty good shape, has ran 43 at the Diamond League final. I mean, he's really been doing a really great job. But in addition to Ja'Cory Patterson, I have Christopher Bailey. Now, I wanted to talk about this when it happened, but I didn't have time. My apologies. But if y'all were looking at the Diamond League final the way I was looking at the Diamond League final, I don't think the strategy for the Diamond League final was to win. I think they wanted to get Vernon's ass in the Diamond League, to set Vernon up to make it to Worlds, right? Which the only way that was going to be able to happen is if one of the USA athletes, which is Ja'Cory Patterson or Christopher Bailey, got first in Diamond League. And what ended up happening, Ja'Cory Patterson ended up winning the Diamond League, which gave him a bye, which allowed one spot to be taken up because we don't have the world champion for the 400-meter dash, and that allowed Vernon Norwood to be included. I think if you watch the race, there was one person that was even with Ja'Cory Patterson in the last 100 of the 400-meter dash. And if y'all recall, that person was Christopher Bailey. Now, if you ever watch Christopher Bailey run, he is someone that has never, ever, ever not finished a 400-meter dash fast as hell. He's strong. He comes from the strength side. He's a 400, 800-meter guy that has gotten fast enough to run the 400-meter dash on an elite level. But without doubt, he's a finisher. No question, he's a finisher. So with that being said, with him being a finisher, it's very, very suspect that he ran the 300 with Ja'Cory Patterson and then all of a sudden just started moving backwards. I don't think he was trying to run a super fast, crazy race. I think that for him, he was trying to set himself up, treat it like a workout, a fast 300, but the goal is to get Vernon Norwood in. I think that was the thing, right? So I have him getting second. Again, Ja'Cory Patterson and Christopher Bailey, they ran indoors. They did really well. I think Christopher Bailey has been building up to this moment. He's the only one, Ja'Cory Patterson went 43 after the indoors, but he hasn't gone 43 yet. He hasn't gone 43 yet, and I think his moment is going to come at these. He's going to peak right just for this run to run 43. Right. I also have Matthew Hudson Smith. I think he's going to be getting third. I think he's someone that has the ability to go 43. Sometimes he's a little bit vulnerable in those last couple of meters to the finish line because of the way he arches his back. His body position kind of goes haywire. So I think that that's someone, that is to be looked out for. But I have Ja'Cory Patterson, Christopher Bailey, and then Matthew Hudson Smith. There's a couple dark horses in this thing that I think we should keep an eye on. There's Karani James. Again, he's someone that has been shown to click off 44s. He's been running 44 since he was like 16, like 45-2 when he was 16. So he's someone that I believe that if he stays consistent, he's only run like 1 or 2 races this year. He's someone that I believe that can kind of sneak in there if someone falters or someone doesn't make it or someone gets injured or anything like that. Jareem Richards is another one. He went 43. And he went 43 last year. He was part of that top 4 to top 5 that go 43 and not medal. But he's someone that I believe that can really, he's been running 44s. He's run 19s this year. He's in really good shape. Khalid McRae, he ran recently. He's been clicking on 44s. He ran 43 this year. He qualified. He did really well. So he's someone, again, that has the ability, super short guy, but has the ability to really get out there, hold his position. I'm curious to see how they're going to run all these rounds. And last but not least, I think this is a dark horse. I had him last year. He kind of failed me last year, but I still think he's going to be a dark horse. It's Charles Dobson. I cannot underestimate what he did to Matthew Hudson Smith at the Diamond League race in London in the 400-meter dash. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go and watch it because he hawked down Matthew Hudson Smith from like position 5 and hawked his ass down to win the Diamond League in London. Watch that race again, and he PR'd, I think, and that was his like opening race of the year or something crazy like that. He's been running, hasn't been running the best since then, but I think he's someone that could possibly peak for that moment again. And if I have Matthew Hudson Smith getting third, and he wants to specifically get Matthew Hudson Smith, because guess what? They're both from Great Britain. That could be his third position right there if he stays on point. Let me see what you said. You said Matthew Hudson Smith, Jareem. I'm not mad at that. It's just tough. It's tough though, you know. Jareem, he's dope, but he's not a finisher, right? He sets it up really well for 350 and he maintains. Christopher Bailey is just disrespectful. He'll come from like position. He's very reminiscent of like Quincy Hall, right? Which I wish he was running, but he's injured. But he's kind of like a Quincy Hall where he sets up his first race. He's kind of in there somewhere. And then all of a sudden from 120, he kind of comes out the blue and really he just steals spots. He's been known not to necessarily steal spots to win unless it's indoors because he sets it up really well. But if he could just get out more aggressive, it'll be a good look. But yeah, Matthew Hudson Smith, it's like been 2 years in a row. He's been in position to like win it. And then those last 5-10 meters get the best of him, which is unfortunate. I mean, he was he was born in 1994, so he's like 31. Going on 32, so he's someone that he has a long year, man. And he's a super talented guy. I hope he really gets his moment. I think it's there though. I think it's there. Samakonga and Nador. I think they're good athletes. I think there's someone that's gonna be in the mix, but they haven't shown me anything. And I could be biased because it's mostly like the big stars that I've been choosing, but you can't. Ja'Cory Patterson has been the most consistent all year. Christopher Bailey, maybe I'm biased towards him, but he's someone that when I watch him, again, one thing I used to run the 400. The people you should look out for are the strength-based 400-meter guys who finally gained the ability to be fast enough to run the first opening 200 honest. When you have athletes like that, they're scary. Like a Michael Johnson, like a Butch Reynolds, like a Quincy Hall. Quincy Hall's the perfect example. He stayed with them in the first 200 in the Olympics, and then he just came out the blue and just started talking people down. Like, why? Where the hell did you come from? You were nowhere at 300, and now you want to come over here and take my spot. Those are the really scary athletes. And Matthew Hudson is the same way. Charles Dobson is the same way. Samakonga and Nadori, they're similar to that, but they're not as dominant. They hold their places really well in the 400-meter dash, which isn't a bad thing. But I think that, Ja'Cory, Chris Bailey, and Matthew Hudson Smith are going to be the athletes that to look out for. And again, Karani James is just as strong too. I mean, these are some really, it's hard. It's hard. And then we can't even discount the fact that the Jamaican athlete, he's, what's his name? I don't even remember his name, but he's actually the world champion. And I think he ran 45 or 44.8 this year. So I think he's going to be running, and no one knows, but he's someone to look out for too. Not necessarily fast, but he's strong. So definitely someone to look out for. But let's transition to the 100. I'm going to see if I can pick it up a little bit. Let's transition to the 100-meter hurdles, 110-meter hurdles. Very, very hard with the 100-meter hurdles because we're dealing with so many talented athletes, of course, but I have Masai Russell. Masai Russell has been running consistency. Again, consistency kills. 21-1, 21-2, 21. Like, she's been clicking off these 12.1s, 12.2s, 12.3. She has the American record. She's been really, really killing it. Exactly. And Tony, yep. You say you're 100% discounting. Yeah, I am. I'm discounting him as well. But here's my point that you can't underestimate anybody, and he's also someone who there's so many people running all over the place. But interesting fact, I was in Budapest too, and no one had him picked. No one had him picked. No one said that he's going to be the guy to win. I'm not saying he's going to win, but no one said he was going to be the guy to win. It was really like an open field for if you wanted to win the 400. And then here he comes storming past 300. I was in the field with my mouth open like, what the hell? Who the hell is this? Now, mind you, I'm Jamaican. I didn't know who he was. I'm like, who's this guy that? And then he won like a 44.2 or something like that, which isn't a soft time. But it's like he didn't have the name, he didn't have the consistency, he didn't have the expectation to go out there and win. You know what I'm saying? So I'm curious of what kind of shape he's going to show up in because he's literally defending champion. He's defending world champion coming off of 2 years worth of injuries. So it should be interesting. I'm not going to gamble on him, but he's someone that I will keep my eye on. And why not? I would throw him in the dark horse picture as well. He doesn't talk too much. He's not very popular, no distractions. He's able to just sit down and grind and gain momentum. Last time I checked, I think 2-3 weeks ago, he went 44.8 or something like that, which is way better than the 46 he was running at the beginning of the season and last year. So if he's hungry And it only takes, if in this race a 44.2 gets you a medal, mind you, Tokyo is a fast track. Maybe he's been running on subpar tracks this whole time, and he's able to run the 3 rounds because he's on the strength side. He's not necessarily the fastest 200-meter runner. He's not sub 20. So why not? Why not? I'm not betting on him though. But, I've seen stranger things happen. But for the 100-meter hurdles, I have Masai Russell. She's been super consistent. And I have, it's tough because you can really throw a rock and it can be anyone that can medal. But in terms of just this one, I have Masai Russell. Then I have Nadine Visser. Nadine has been she's been doing some things from hurdle 3 to hurdle like 7 or 8 that has been like crazy. I have not seen, like, she's been able to shift gears and just rhythm, just go 3-step fast. I mean, she's a strong, powerful girl. She trains with Femke Bol in that camp in the Netherlands. I mean, she's been someone that if Masai makes a mistake, if she bangs the first hurdle, bangs the 4th hurdle, Nadine is going to be someone that just try and takes her soul. Now, one thing about Masai, she's really good at running through the 10s. Right, she comes from the 400-meter hurdle side. Her coach is real cool. I actually met him at my USATF level 3 camp that I did with USATF, and really cool guy. They train on the strength side. She's able to run through these 10 hurdles without much fatigue with really good speed endurance, and that's her biggest skill. Even if she bangs the first hurdle or bangs the 4th one, if someone makes a mistake on hurdle 8, 9, or 10, she's in there. That's why she's been able to go 12-1, right? But Nadine has been shown that she comes from that strength side too. And she's been able to show, like, nope, I can maintain just as well as you. Is she as consistent, though? No. She's just starting to find her footing this year. But she's someone that we should definitely look at going forward because, again, I mean, from the last race that I saw her run with Masai where she broke Masai off, whew, it was disgusting. It was disgusting. From hurdle 3 or 4 through 10, gone. Could not catch her. And Toby Almusan, she's been training in Jamaica. She's been a whole lot faster than what she usually is, and she's someone that has been is also a great finisher as well. Really, really smooth when she's healthy, and again, she's the world record holder. She's someone that should not be discounted, and someone who is very, very scary when it comes to those last couple hurdles. If you make a mistake, she's gonna be there to capitalize, right? So those are my top 3, and I really just picked those top 3 because they're just different. They're different than a typical pick, and that I've been just trusting my eyes this year. But we can't discount Grace Stark, Akira Nugent. She's someone that's been showing that she's fast, and she's been able to run really, really fast times over hurdles. She's been doing really great in the Grand Slam, so we can't discount her. And this last dark horse, a lot of people ain't gonna like because they're like, what do you mean? Who is this? Megan Tapper. The reason why I'm picking Megan Tapper because she just set a PR in the 100-meter hurdles at the Jamaican trials. She's also the Jamaican champion. She's also been, I mean, she's like, what, 34? But she's been doing things that no one else has been doing at this age. And part of the reason why is because she has Noah Lyle's previous physio that helped him be a world champion and helped him run 19.3 back in 2022 and 2023. Has been a part of his team. Mind you, she had previous ties to Jamaica, but it's worth noting that her last big profile client that she worked with was Noah Lyles in track and field. So Megan Tapper, I have her because she has been PRing. She just signed a new contract with, I believe, Puma. So new money's there. That means new opportunities, even if it's just a clothing. I don't know what her business is, but my point is that when you have someone who just set a PR at the age of 34, you have to recognize momentum. If she can stay healthy, that's someone that I'm going to be looking at to see if she can crack that top 3. And if someone makes a mistake, I think that she could probably do it. All right, now we're talking about the men's. We're looking at the 110-meter hurdles. We're looking at Cordell Tinch, right? Cordell Tinch, for the first place position, he's been running 12 9s, 12 8s. He's been super consistent. Again, you cannot bet against consistency. When someone's consistent like that, you make sure you keep them consistent because, and when you peak them, you're going to be able to drop down, right? You're going to be able to drop down. Let me see what you said. You said that physio is good. I don't know if Noah Lyles would have been injured for that long. Exactly, right? Exactly. She's someone that's like very essential. That's it when you run in track or any sport. When you have a solid team around you, and she's been shown that she's a beast. Even before Noah Lyles, she was working with the likes of like a Johan Blake, Jamaican athletes all over the place. So she's very popular in Australia. Like she knows what she's doing. And she's shown that she knows what she's doing. Is it perfect all the time? No. But she's shown that she knows what she's doing. She's an essential part of Noah. Noah Lyles put her on the YouTube page. They have expressed that she's the top in her field and stuff like that, and she knows what she's doing. So she's definitely going to be a plus for Megan Tapper, indeed. Like I said, I have Cordell Tinch. And a lot of people haven't been talking about this guy, but I have Jacoby Tharp, right? He's the one that won the did he win? I think he won. He was the collegiate athlete that maybe he got the last spot, but he basically qualified. And he won NCAAs, and he snuck in there to beat. Oh no, what happened was he snuck in there to beat what's his name? Shit, what's his name? He went to Florida State, but he's a professional athlete for Adidas. He's been super consistent all year. I forgot his name. But anyway, he beat him out, hit him out to take his spot, which is unfortunate. But I have Jacoby Tharp getting second, and then I have Grant Holloway getting third. Again, I like Grant Holloway as an athlete, but you cannot underestimate race rhythm, and his race rhythm has not been the best all year. The first 6 hurdles have been great, but something has been going on between hurdle 7, from hurdle 6 to hurdle 10. He's always had issues there, but this year is especially atrocious. Don't know what it is. It could be his background training didn't go well, because he killed the indoor season. And sometimes when you kill the indoor season, it takes away your base if you don't maintain it, right? I think something has been going on. I'm not sure, but he has to get back on track, because he's been running his season's best like a 13-1, and my boy Cordell Tinch has been going like 12-8. And, you know, maybe he's been sitting down and training and getting back into race rhythm. But again, Cordell Tinch has been going 12-9, 12-8 all season. So he said, my goal, he has a knee injury. I hope he does, because he's been, I mean, those last 3-4 hurdles have been doo-doo, have been trash, you know. And so hopefully he's been able to get back to where he needs to be. He's been strength training well. I mean, he's been doing so many great things well. So I think he'll, you know, if he's able to at least get into 12, some kind of 12s, because again, if he's in the 13s, that's anybody's race. He separates when he can make sure he makes no mistakes from hurdle 7. Like for him, I think his biggest mistake is this. On the first 6 hurdles, he's at like 12-7, 12-8 pace. But he may not be conditioned, because if he's, you know, like you said, if he has an injury or if he has like a knee issue, he may not have the conditioning to maintain that. And then those steps get really long, right? And they stop being fast because he doesn't have the conditioning to keep that rhythm, right? So I really, really hope that he's conditioned. I really, really hope that he's not, you know, injured. But, I mean, that would be unfortunate. That would be unfortunate if he's injured. So we're just going to see how that goes. But I have him getting third. You know, I have him getting third. Let's switch over to the 400-meter hurdles, though. 400-meter hurdles for women. Woo! This is going to be a good one, guys. So this is going to be a good one, right? So Miss Sydney McLaughlin isn't running this. And even I have my top 3 written down, but I'm going to make an audible, because I believe this athlete is going to show and improve. I don't statistically know how the hell she's going to do it, but I think that she's going to clear this pretty well, because I think it's going to take this kind of performance to really take it down there. I have Dalilah Muhammad winning the 400-meter hurdles, right? I hope you don't think I'm crazy. I hope you don't think I'm tripping, but please bear with me. Peep this. Dalilah Muhammad has gone 52 this year, right? At the age of like 35, 36. Has gone 32 this year. Excuse me, has gone 52 this year, right? Anna Conqueror has gone 52, I believe, also. 52 this year, right? I'm trying, man. I'm trying, but I got to go. Look, on my paper, I have Femke Bol winning, but I'm going to make it audible, because Dalilah Muhammad is cool. I trained with her. We were on the same track team when I was younger. I know her story. Like, she's a beast, and it's her last year. And people wrote her off when Sydney started coming in and killing stuff. Last year, people were just like, oh, she should retire. She didn't make the Olympic Games. And she came back this year and showed that she can still get it done. And I believe she still has a 51 in her leg somewhere. And I'm going to explain why. I think that she can kind of sneak this in. Because Femke Bol, even though she's a 51 athlete, and she's run 51.9 this year, she went 50.9 at elevation, I think she's going to get herself distracted. Because she's a central part of the mixed 4x4. She's an essential part of the 4x4. And she's running the 400-meter hurdles. Let me go with the numbers. Mixed 4x4. Round 1, round 2. Prelims and finals. Right? They have 2 rounds. Then you have the 400-meter hurdles. They have 3 rounds. They have the prelims, semifinals, and finals. Then you have the 4x4, which is after it, of course. But my point is like before she gets to the final of the 400-meter hurdles, she's gonna be dealing with 2 rounds of the mixed relay, and then the prelim and the semifinal. Dalila is only running the 400-meter hurdles unless they decide to throw her a bone and run the 4x4, which they might if she gets down there in the 400-meter hurdles as a send-off, right? So I think that it's in this particular race, even though Femke Bol comes from the strength side, but really all of them do. Dalila comes from the strength side. I have Anna Cockrell for third on the strength side. They all come from the strength side. So it's not even about how fast you are. It's not even about, hey, I have this PR of 51.7. So does Dalila. Anna Cockrell has shown that she can probably get down there as well. I think it's about who is the war of attrition, like who has the most resources. Let me see. He said Femke Bol has been doing this for 4 years, though, while having to battle with Sid. I got her for the... I can't say that because last year she faltered. Last year we expected Femke Bol to get second. And what did she get? She barely scraped third. She barely scraped third. Anna Cockrell was not supposed to get second place behind Sydney. It's supposed to be really a battle between Sid and Femke Bol, and then whoever got third got third. It could have been Anna Cockrell, it could have been Jasmine Jones. There were so many athletes that were like in fourth that, oh yeah, I'm just running this to get fourth, right? And then what happened to Femke Bol? She had one of those crazy mixed. I think the more pressure. Here's the strategy, right? This is strategy. Dope strategy. Here's where coaching comes into play. If the mixed relay has enough talent to really push Femke Bol to a position where they just don't, it's going to take a 48 to clear the field, then they're going to have trouble. Here's how they do it. They need to have Alexis Holmes somewhere in the building. She's the only one that has shown to be able to handle Femke Bol when she's coming. They need a strength-based runner to be able to handle Femke Bol's tall, lanky, strong ass in the mixed relay to have her go deep enough into the well to run a 48, right? Because Femke Bol, I think, is so talented. She wants her team to win. She's such a team-orientated person that I believe that she may have so much of a team mindset that I need to push myself to qualify, to help my team qualify, that going 48 is going to drain her legs. So she goes 50 maybe, an easy 50 in the prelims, right? And then she goes 48 in the finals where she really wants to go 49. And then when you have that 50 and the 48 in your legs, maybe a 51 isn't as easy as it was before. Mind you, I still think it's going to take a 51 to make it, right, to 40. I think that the winning time is going to be like a 51 low. I think that's going to be like a 51-2, 51-3, 51-4, somewhere around there. But I think the more that they push her in the prelims for the mixed relay, the higher chance that Lila and Anna have to try and sneak her, right? I think that's how it happens. But I have Femke Bol for first, but I think that Lila, I think the way the stars align, she's not supposed to be here. Her last year was supposed to be last year. She's not supposed to be here. I think the track guys are going to intervene. Something's going to happen. Someone going to slip. Someone going to have some bad ramen. And I think that, but she going to, man. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Think about it like this. Every year something has happened. That's another thing. Last year, right? Last year she didn't win. She didn't win. She got like third in the 400-meter hurdles, right? To lose to Sid. The year before that, Alexis Holmes beat her, right? Alexis Holmes beat her in the 400-meter hurdles. No, excuse me, my fault. In the I think it was the mixed relay or the 4x4. One of those things, Alexis Holmes hawked her ass down, and she fell. Right? It was one of those things. And then so we don't know. We don't know. We do not know. Yeah, and yeah, it was in the mixed relays, and then she came, I think, got revenge in a 4x4 or something like that happened. So every year something has happened. And I'm not wishing nothing on Femke Bol. She's a beast. I want her to be successful. I want her to do well, right? But I think if for Dalila, who's ran 52 this year and has been in 52 shape, she's the USA champion. She's training with Anna Cockrell, who pushes her every single day. So if Anna Cockrell shows that she's running 52s, guess what Dalila's doing? I'm running 52s as well. I think it's going to take a 51 to get it done. Or they could just blow up the whole spot, and then Anna Cockrell just comes to take everything. Because Anna Cockrell ran 52 last year, has beat Femke Bol, and you know, and we're going to see. But I have Delilah winning it. I have Femke Bol getting second and then Anna Cockrell getting third. Or they could both take her down. It really don't matter. But I think that Delilah is going to set a pace that maybe Femke Bol can't match. And if they can break her off at that last hurdle and hang on, then we're just going to see. We're going to see. So, yeah. So, and then I have Jasmine Jones as the dark horse because she's someone who's been super duper consistent. But I'm really looking to see. It's all about who's going to make the least amount of mistakes. That's it. Okay, so the 400-meter hurdles for men. This is actually going to be a good one because we have so many dope athletes, man. We just had Warholm. He went 46 and some change. But I have Rai Benjamin. Then I have Warholm. Then I have Alison Dos Santos, right? And mind you, and my dark horse is going to be Samba. I've been talking about Samba for the better part of like these last couple because he's been skating under the radar. He's been getting back into the low 47s. So if any of those boys or those men make a mistake, I think Samba's going to be there to capitalize. It's really a four-person race in terms of just talent. Like there's not really anyone else I see in those low 47s or 46s. So it's really the four of them. Yeah, man, I have Rai Benjamin, and I'm gonna explain why. So bear with me. I'm gonna explain why. Two things we know for certain. We know Warholm is positioned to go 45. No one's debating that. Warholm is positioned to go 45. He ran at the beginning of the season. He ran a faster time this year than he did in. I'm not the only one crazy thinking Rai. Yeah. I think Rai Benjamin is going to do it. I'm explaining why. So Warholm, back in 2020, if people remember, in preparation for Tokyo, he had a 300-meter hurdle race. He broke the world record in 300-meter hurdles. This year, he did the same thing. He ended up breaking the world record in 300-meter hurdles. He also went 46 low this year. Before, in 2020, he went 46 low that year, right? Now he's positioned to go 45, right? With adrenaline. He did that by himself. No Alison Dos Santos, no Rai Benjamin. He did that with no issues, no problems. It was a one-off race. I think he's positioned himself to go 45. I think Rai Benjamin is a lot smarter now. Rai Benjamin has fixed the issues that he's been dealing with. He's been trying to figure out his race model for the 400-meter hurdles that enables him to stay open and fast, but still be able to finish stronger. I think that someone's going to make a mistake. I think that Rai Benjamin has had the race rhythm because he's been sticking with that race model for the past 2 years. That's how he became world champion last year, or Olympic champion last year. When he's healthy, I assume that he's healthy. He's been at home. He's been training. He's been resting. I have Rai Benjamin doing it because he's been way more consistent. But I don't have conviction, right? I think he's gonna get first, but I don't know because if I'm looking at Rai Benjamin's race model, I know that at 150 he kicks. I have two options. I can either wait for him to kick and kick later than him and see if I can hawk him down, or I can send the race so far out that I know he's not strong enough to catch me. Warholm is talented enough and strong enough to be able to do both, right? I think Warholm is going to take it out so strong, it's going to force Rai Benjamin to kind of like either panic or he's not going to have enough legs to catch him. Either way, I think we're going to have a situation where we have two or more athletes go 45. Alison Dos Santos has been going 46 as well. He's scary because he's someone that has shown he has the speed. I think he's faster than Warholm, but he's also lankier and has the strength on the back half to be able to finish. He's also the youngest out of both of those guys, right? So he's kind of like a hybrid. So I don't know, guys. Like, you could really toss a coin and see. I mean, we're talking about Warholm is the Olympic champion for 2020. Alison Dos Santos, let me go back. Warholm is the Olympic champion for 2020 and 2021. Alison Dos Santos is the 2022, what year did he get that? Alison Dos Santos is the world champion. Rai Benjamin is the Olympic champion. We're talking about the big three in all aspects. Like, these guys are some monsters. So, but on paper, I have Rai Benjamin, Warholm, and Alison Dos Santos. I won't be mad if I get that wrong, but it is what it is. I could flip a coin, but I really would like Rai Benjamin to get it. But I know it's going to take a 45. It may mess around and take like a 45.7 to get it. Notice this year, though, we did not see Rai Benjamin run any open 400s. We have not seen him run any open 400s. He actually ran an opening 400-meter hurdles and ran like 46 or something crazy. Something to think about. So we don't know what kind of shape that he's in. I think to go 45, he's going to be in 43 shape. He's shown that he can get to 43 shape. So I'm really interested to see how he does. All right, so this is going to be, this is almost, we're almost at like an hour and 14 minutes. This is like a record, guys. Appreciate you guys sticking with me. We're almost done. We're going to talk about the men's 800-meter dash. I'm not going to talk about the women's because I don't really know the usual suspects that I have predicted to show up ain't showing up. And I'm going to talk about the men's 800-meter dash because that's what I know. All right. So with the men's 800-meter dash, I have Donovan Brazier taking it. Right. Donovan Brazier has come from nowhere, has been coming from like 3 years of no running to all of a sudden coming on the field, and really just taking it out. I mean, he's been killing it, man. 142, he's run this year. I think that, you have Emmanuel from Kenya. I'll talk about a little bit of that. You're right. I'll talk about a little bit of that. I know a couple suspects. But in terms of the United States have not made it very interesting to follow it. But internationally, you're right. Keely Hutchinson has been killing it. But let me talk about the men's first. So I have Donovan Brazier, then I have Emmanuel, and then I have Marco Arop. Marco Arop is a dangerous guy. I watched him win the 800-meter dash in in Budapest. And the reason why, and I watched it in person, the reason why he was so surprising is because his race plan in college has always been take it out hard, be a front runner, and then he always gets hawked down in like the last 150 meters. And Budapest was the first time he kind of chilled, and then on the backstretch he made his move, and then he proceeded to finish making his move. He's never done that kind of race plan before, and he was able to shock the field and win. I think Marco Arop has been inconsistent in terms of his race plan, which could be a good thing because he could shock the field if he gets it right at the World Championships. But he's been kind of like, okay, I'm going to wait. Okay, I'm going to position myself. And then he takes off a little too early at the 200, has nothing in the last 100. And then Emmanuel comes out of nowhere with his strength and then kicks it, right? Marco Arop has been PRing in the 1500. I mean, he's in a really good position. So I definitely have him for third. But if he can get the race plan right, he can possibly win it. He has the tools necessary. Donovan Brazier, I think, is the fastest out of all of them. He's more aerobically fit this year. He's training up in Arizona in the elevation, northern Arizona. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how he's going to do. My dark horse is going to be Cooper Lukenhaus. He's the high schooler that shocked the freaking world when he ran 142. So, I mean, we're looking at a possible 141 race, a 140 race, world record race. I mean, I haven't seen this many 142s ever. It could be the bicarb. It could be the steroids. I don't know. It could be just people are training their butts off. But, like I said, I think Donovan Brazier is going to be in a good position to capitalize off of the fact that he is so, he's happy to be here. And he's happy to just let those legs loose. And if he makes it round by round without any issues, there's so much respect for him. I think it's going to be a good situation for him. So that's who I have. I'm going to talk about the women's 800 just off the top of my head, so bear with me. I do have, so Keely Hutchinson has really been killing the game. I mean, she's opened up in like a 155, then ran a 156 right after that. Her teammate has been killing it too. Her name is Grace Hunter. I think that's her name, something Hunter Bell, I think is her name. She has decided to run the 800 instead of the 1500. We have a couple athletes from Africa that have been doing really well. I don't know their names, so I wasn't really covering this 800, but I like Keely Hutchinson to win. I think her teammate also has a good potential. We only really have a handful of women who are running 155s or even anything under 156. A lot of athletes are in the 157 or up category. My biggest thing, though, is that with Keely and with Hunter, is that they certainly have the ability to go 156 and 155. That takes some aerobic capabilities. I don't want to make it a time trial thing that just because they're running fast times, they're going to win. It's all about how you manage the rounds. I think Hunter has an edge because she comes from the 1500. And they're also teammates. So I have to assume with Keely, because she trains with her, they're aware and she has shown and proved that she is the Olympic champion that, I've been here before. I know what it feels like. I know what to do. Like all those prefaces that she has to kind of put her mind through. So I think that's going to be the basis of it. I think Keely is going to win it. I think her teammate may get second or third. I really don't have any other athletes to put in there. I think Mo ain't running. All the people I had suspected to make it this year, it was kind of disappointing in in the women's 800. So I'm really just like deflated about it. I'm just like, okay, Keely's gonna kill it, and then it's really gonna be a Great Britain race. I don't really have any American 800 meter runners taking it over, so it's unfortunate, but we move on. And then last but not least, guys, we're talking about the last event is going to be the 4x1. So the 4x1, I'm going to do it for men. I'm going to do it for women. I may throw in the 4x4 in there if I can get it done real quick. 4x1 is going to be real simple. For the women, I am going to have the United States, right? This is going to be the first time we've had four American women that all from the same training camp. We have Sha'Carri, we have TT Terry, we have Melissa Jefferson. I thought we had Gabby, but Gabby had an Achilles issue. We have Tamari Davis. We have all these different athletes coming into this, and 4 of them are trained by the same coach. So I think it's really gonna be like, I think it's gonna be the United States. I think Great Britain is gonna be after that, and then we may have Jamaica. Jamaica may sneak in there. Like I said, Jamaica has the likes of Shelly Ann Fraser-Price. It has Sharika Jackson. It has the Clayton twins, Tina, and her sister. Like I said, Jamaica just has so much depth. And then we have Great Britain. We have Dina Asher-Smith. There was another athlete. There's a couple athletes from Great Britain. 200-meter specialist Amy Hunt is in there too. Great Britain has a pretty good chance to make an upset, to really to either upset Jamaica or upset the United States. I really don't think they're going to upset the United States. The United States just has too much talent, too much depth. You could take a girl out, you could put another girl back in. And sometimes when you have all the athletes from the same camp, even if an athlete isn't as talented as another athlete that's outside the camp, it's better chemistry. And when you have better chemistry, you have better trust. And when you have better trust, that stick does not slow down because they're able to extend those runways based on the fact that I trust you, right? So I definitely have United States, then I have Great Britain, then I have Jamaica. Jamaica doesn't have any real dominance in any particular event this year. And I think Great Britain has a lot of athletes who are 100 and 200 meter specialists. Just with the athletes I mentioned, Dina Asher-Smith, Amy Hunt, and then you have that other athlete who trains with Noah Lyles. It should be very interesting. You said, I don't know which country will be able to win, not even the USA, will be able to beat the Green Machines. Right, exactly. I think his 4x1, man, when you have that many athletes, 10-8 with TT Terry. I keep on forgetting the girl's name. She ran for HBCU, but she got second place at USA's, went 10-8 too. Melissa Jefferson, 10-6. Even when you have Sha'Carri, it's like, oh, okay, she only ran 11-0, 11-1, but she has the ability to maintain her turnover for long periods of time, and she doesn't need a block start to do that. She's going to probably split, and she just has the mentality. When she runs, I think she'd be like, fuck them bitches. Like, she don't care. She wants to kill. Like, she wants to get her, and I don't think she's going to medal. So if she ain't medaling, she's going to walk away with something. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's going to be a good look. But that's what I have for the women's. For the men's, very, very simple. I don't think the men are going to drop the baton. I think they're going to have Noah Lyles on last leg. Fred Curley's out, so there's not going to be any issues on backstretch. I think they're going to retry Kenny Benerick. Yeah, Kayla Wright, my fault. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, Kayla White, man. Kayla White, yeah, that's yeah. Kayla White's a beast. She's someone, I keep forgetting her name for some reason. I don't know why. But Kayla White, yeah, she's ran a 1082. And she's someone that's like super, she has really good speed endurance because she was a 200 meter specialist. But she's someone like, I'll even break down the freaking, I don't think they should put Melissa Jefferson first leg, but they're going to do it, whatever. I think it should go Melissa Jefferson, I guess, to TT Terry because she's ran the fastest 4x1 leg on the backstretch ever, I guess. And then they're going to have, on the curve, they're going to have Kayla White because she's a 200 meter runner, but she's got faster than the 100. She's going to burn that turn. Then Sha'Carri. Easy, right? Easy. What I think they should do, if they wanted to really get a fast time, is put TT first, to Melissa, to Kayla, to Sha'Carri. I think we can't underestimate that Melissa is in better shape, especially in her speed endurance, to maximize that backstretch. I don't care that TT is able to run the second fastest time ever. I think that TT's a great starter, and it's the shortest leg. So she's shorter, the great starter, thicken the legs, like generates the power necessary to be able to run. Like, I think that's how you break a world record. That's how you do that kind of stuff. But I'm not the coach, so I think they should keep it however they're gonna keep it. As long as they get the baton around and it's in first place. I just know they're gonna have Amy Hunt probably on the back stretch. They're probably gonna have Daryl Nita. That's her name, Daryl Nita from Great Britain. They may have her last leg. Dean Asher Smith probably gonna be third because she burns the turn, and I'm not sure who they're gonna have first place. Probably some I don't know. And then Jamaica, ain't no telling what Jamaica's gonna do. They probably gonna. I mean, it depends on how Shelly Ann Frazier's price legs feel. But it'll be cool if they can give her a medal, even if it's bronze. Get her a medal on her way out. That'll be dope. But for the men's are gonna be really interesting. I think the men are gonna get it around for USA. You know, who's in the pool? You have Courtney Lindsay, you have Kenny Benerick, you have Noah Lyles, and you have Christian Coleman. So you have 3 out of 4 of those athletes are Nike athletes that train with Dennis Mitchell. I think they're going to go Christian Coleman. I think Christian Coleman and Kenny Benerick have better chemistry this year, and then you're going to have Kenny Benerick to Courtney Lindsay to Noah Lyles. I think that's going to be the situation that they have. I think they really want Kenny to be last leg, but you can't, no. Noah Lyles is a beast. Every time he anchors, ain't no issues. That's it. I think they're going to try, they may get a little cute, and they may have Trayvon Bromell substitute for, they may have like a prelim one and then a group and then another, because I saw Trayvon passing off to Ronnie. I don't know in what world that works. I guess Ronnie will be second leg, but again, no disrespect to them, but you're talking about 2 injury-prone athletes. You know, you don't want any issues. You want people who are healthy, who can make it through the rounds, who can make it through and make sure the baton goes around, because obviously there's a spell or a hex that's going on with the USA. So I think they will get first. A lot of people didn't realize this. I realized it, but a lot of people didn't realize it that Andre DeGrasse ran in Beijing this weekend. He ran in Beijing this weekend. He went 10-1 this weekend. So I didn't see him entered in 2. I didn't see him entered in the 1. So I can only assume that he's entered in the 4x1. Now, mind you, if Mr. He's very similar to Shakira right now. Maybe he can't push out of blocks like he's supposed to, but his top end speed has been. He was up there. He almost won. He was with guys that have run 9.9 and run 9.8 this year. I think Brandon Hicklin. He almost outleaned him. He got 3rd overall. So if that's the case, then Canada is in there for second. Now you have Jerome Blake, who's running all of a sudden sub-10s and sub-20s now. So you have Jerome Blake, who's running faster. You have DeGrasse, who's in there. And I assume they have their other legs who are pretty consistent this year. I think it's going to, you know, they've been known to trust each other. He said USA won't win the men's because the baton will be dropped in the first handoff. Hey, that would be crazy. It would not surprise me, unfortunately. I'm just going to be interested to see who drops it. Last year was Kenny, after all the confidence talk and all the I'm the man. And we going to see who it is this year, but I hope it's not. I think they every world championships they run in, they've been able to at least finish. I think it's been the Olympics. They've been kind of tripping. But I think they'll be able to finish it. Whether they get first or not is debatable because they did lose in 2022 when Marvin Bracey anchored it, which I don't know why they put him on anchor when they should have put Noah Lyles on anchor. That's dumb. After he broke a world, like, come on, dude. He almost broke he broke the American record. Why not give it to him on last leg? Marvin Bracey doesn't have the speed endurance to be able to hold off anybody, especially the likes of DeGrasse. Are you crazy? But anyway, I digress. That's USA for first. Then I have Canada for second. My last leg, my last third place. I think it's people be talking about Jamaica, man. I'm not sure because you have Oblique, you have Blake, you have Kishane, and then they said they're not putting in Lavelle, who ran one of the fastest 200 meters in the world of 19.6. So I don't think this one is the one where you think the fastest times win. I have them getting third as well. It could be switched between Jamaica and Canada, but I think Jamaica has the firepower. But where you gonna put Kishane? They've shown to put him last leg, but I don't think Kishane can hold off a Noah with a baton in his hand. If you can't hold off a Noah without a baton on a flying start, he's gonna eat your ass up. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I think it's going to be United States, then Canada, then Jamaica, or it can be United States, Jamaica, then Canada. That's how I'm trying not to be biased. Again, look at where I'm from, but I can't. I gotta go with instincts and what I see. I think the United States has a much better shot this year, partly because there's not a bunch of. It's really just Dennis and then Lance. Dennis Mitchell's athlete, and then Lance in the form of Noah Lyles. When you have less confusion that way, it's easy. Don't make it complex. Don't make it complex. Kenny just got to make sure he don't leave before the fucking tape. He don't leave before the tape, we good. He leave before the tape, we done. And then you gotta automatically ban him from any 4x1 going further, because it's just like, dude, you're messing up the rotation right now. For the 4x4, it should be easy. I think it's gonna be USA and USA women's. I mean, the women's are gonna have a little bit more issues, especially if Femke is coming back. You know, you could have the likes of like a Great Britain come up out of nowhere. But honestly, I think it's just going to be United States. I think they'll be good. And then I think for the men's, you're going to have, again, USA. They could pull, I mean, they have more athletes this year than they had last year in terms of who can help them. And then you have, I don't think Jamaica's going to be in there. You may have Great Britain in the form of like Dobson and Matthew Hudson-Smith. You have Botswana. I think even South Africa has a couple athletes this year in Nene and of course Wade Van Niekerk if he decides to participate. So like I said, the relays are gonna be dope. They always are dope. I think the USA usually has it on lock though, unless you just have a country like Botswana or Jamaica come out with, you know, athletes. I think the women's Jamaican team should be up there as well. So yeah, for women, I have the USA women, I have the Great Britain women, and then I have Jamaica. And then for the men, I have, of course, the United States, then I have Botswana, and then I have Great Britain. Right, I think that's going to be an awesome battle. And then, of course, you have dark horses everywhere. Some of the athletes come from the collegiate system. They'll participate and do different things. So it should be really interesting. But that's all I have for today, guys. I'm going to thank you guys for watching, for staying with me for an hour and a half, an hour and 30 minutes. This is my longest live. If you showed love, I appreciate you. If you showed a comment, I appreciate you. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe, comment, notification bell, all that. I'm going to try my best to post more. I know I've been neglectful to you guys, but like I said, I am going to Tokyo. I'm gonna be posting a lot. I'm gonna be showing y'all the vibes of like the stadium. I'm gonna see if I can get me some meta glasses so y'all can see from first person experience what I'm looking at, what I'm checking out. It should be a really great experience, guys. So I'm gonna thank you guys for watching. This is D Brown with Track Headz. Peace. All right.